Hey guys, thanks for checking out the Bucked Up Podcast. If you wouldn't mind hitting the like and subscribe button, we have new episodes coming out every Monday and Thursday. Let's get into it.
It was at this moment that he knew.
He bucked up.
Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you have fucked up.
Finally sitting down in person. Thank you for showing us around in LA.
No question. We on?
We can start whenever. It'll just
Let's
like
go.
roll and start. But yeah, no, we got some dope ass food.
The shit is recording.
Recording.
All right, good.
We got some dope ass food. Got to see some dope ass art.
No question.
Thank you though. We're finally in LA in person.
Hell yeah.
You're very. The reason I asked you about like possessions and shit, and Jay was saying this is like you're very giving. Like you're very like a giving person.
No question. I try to be. I think that's one of the things that make humans remember, because they're very forgetful beings. When they think selfishly, they begin to forget about how important it is to have social interactions with people who are valuable, significant. So gifts are kind of grounding principles that anchor you to people. A lot of people don't. It's an art to give giving. A lot of people think it's an art and taking. Yeah. Always wanting to receive something. Yeah. Where it's two sides to your hand. You can't have this side without this side. So sometimes people get so used to seeing this side of your hand that they start noticing that they lose each time you come around, as opposed to when you use this side of your hand, giving, people are more apt to look forward to actually seeing you, you know?
Yeah.
So
Why do we forget that? Because I feel like when I get success, you almost want to like hoard it off instead of give it away. But then you realize that giving it away was the reason that you got it in the first place. Like you saying forgetful, that is true. It's like you forget almost how you get to where you are.
yeah. It's primarily because humans are they encompass the of the physical world. They encompass also the animal kingdom as well. Even though they try to use their cortex to justify how they are not animals, they still have a primal center of the brain that's similar to serpents and birds, as well as dogs. So very interesting thing about birds, we always want to wear, if you look in particular cultures, you'll find that you have people wearing birds on their headdress. In the Native Americas, you see this Nigerian piece. This is the crown. It's
The 13 omens.
Odus or omens. It's the crown of 13 Odus, and it has 13 birds on it. So the concept of birds taps into the human's knowledge that they are very mindful of remembering where they place their food when they go bury it. And they're also mindful of their location. If they were to ever, I don't think they can actually get lost. Same with dogs. People have taken dogs that they've tried to get rid of, and they take the dog on 4 or 5 hour trips and just let the dog go. And with all due respect, think that that's the last time they're going to see the dog. And the dog be walked all the way back to the house with flawless navigation. There's a reason for that. You know what I'm saying? Did something happen?
It'll still be recording. I have a
okay.
It's still recording. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's a very interesting feature for humans to identify when we seek to be better people. You might have to not be a better human. You might have to tap into the animal kingdom and see how they behave and add it on to your humanity, because you're so forgetful. In fact, humans, it take a human if you notice in the animal kingdom, some animals is born and they got to get it going immediately. They can walk and run as soon as they come out. Humans, you have to be taught to walk. You have to be actually fed. So there's something, this is why we have this emotional reality in this physical world called love. Because if it didn't exist, all that crying you was doing when you was a baby, somebody would have just threw your ass off a cliff or something in primitive, in a far older, context where there's no, and people often, and this is really, this is not unrealistic. This is real. People are still performing what they would infanticide, killing seeds. You know what I mean? Because they are forgetful, they don't have enough love. So when you see the gift giving part, it's also sometimes people give to expect to receive, but there's something that you receive that nobody can ever give you.
Yeah.
And you can't give nothing unless you got something. So sometimes we prove our wealth and our viability and our purpose in the world by having and being able to extend the courtesy of actual sharing. You know what I'm saying? And that's some powerful shit when you think, if you use sharing you use it as a spiritual energy, you can actually use it for creative purposes to create a reality for yourself and others, if you but only knew how to give gifts. And sometimes gift giving ain't giving somebody what they asked for. It's giving somebody what they deserve before they even can muster up the words. Those are the gifts that people don't forget.
Or something not even physical, just you inviting us yesterday and then letting us like hang on the street and then meet everyone we met. And like that's a gift in itself. It's not like a tangible object.
And it's not, but I understand what you're saying, but in a very realistic way, it is tangible. It's far more tangible than the actual modicum of money. Because I can put some paper with designs on it in your hand, and they mean one thing, yeah. But it's the meaning implied by the person who was in possession of it.
And you say that the animalistic, like that's an animal tendency.
Oh, no, yeah, we definitely have primal instincts.
But you get scared. Like I feel like you get scared. I get scared of that, like the primal, because that's where anger comes from. That's where like the rage comes from, the like immediate reaction. So you like try to like back away from that.
Right. And another interesting thing is anger and fear. They live in the same place. Biologically in the brain. You ever hear that there's a thin line between love and hate?
Yeah.
Love is very close to it as well. So they exist in the same area where the human identifies being in possession of something. You know? So when you scare people, they immediately resort to, I want to say, a fear-based reaction to essentially protect what they feel is theirs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So with that understood, right? How do we operate in this world? We give people indicators of what without us knowing it, willingly and unwillingly. We don't even know that we be doing it half the time. We kind of tell people what we're afraid of. And this is where you can find your true friends, because your friends don't want you afraid of nothing. They constantly reinforce, for you that, you know what? You ain't got to do that. This is us. You ain't got to do that. You heard? Maybe you used to have to do that before, but you ain't got to do that with us. This is us. You heard? We good. We good. That's real friendship. Is consistently reinforcing one another. Because I'm going to tell you something. There are instances that a lot of humans, they very um, of great benefit to their existence that they didn't have to exist or create social context for how they communicate in like real turbulent environments. Because in real turbulent environments, your intentions always have to be clear with your action as well as your words. Because to leave people to their own devices and make them think based off of your behavior that you lack grace or understanding regarding a mutual undertaking around the wrong people, you will fuck around and get your shit split to the white meat because you wasn't clear about your role. You heard? So communication is very important. And, you know, we are not that far from the animal world. And in some respects, the animals are far more intelligent if we take instinct as an intelligent factor. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if animals could go in the booth and make records and shit. You heard? You know, which is something that we love. You feel me? We love music, but we can definitely learn from the calls of the wild. You know?
Yeah. No, you were talking about the being forgetful. And I keep thinking about that because I feel forgetful of knowledge I have.
Yeah.
And then I go back to that like instinct.
Yeah.
But that doesn't help you. It's hard to keep knowledge, like beneficial knowledge.
Well,
when life keeps moving.
Well, you're a young man. So
and life's moving fast.
It does. We have no idea how fast this planet is actually moving, man. You're in trajectory to, you know, what speed is. You know what I mean? I promise you, shit is moving super fast. And as a young person, you can now begin to monitor your growth of your development in a far better way once you become aware of something. You give words and definitions to your experiences, you'll be surprised when you get older how much context you have. So when I was your age, when I was 20-something, I was in prison. So I didn't have, you know how they say you have to broaden your horizons? So the visual cortex, if I can't see past 5 or 6 feet, because there's always a wall or a gate or a steel door in front of me, then I have to use my mind's eye to imagine a horizon beyond the comprehension of my visual cortex in the world surrounding me. So it'll make you, what you did me, I had fucked off my whole 20s. So it makes me, I have to use my time differently than someone else who still has so much time in the free world to do. So now at 47 years old, I feel like I'm running out of time. The shit is not happening fast enough. And then oftentimes, I got to sit back, relax, and take in consideration that your boy is blessed, you know?
Because we were talking about this, that in the last 6 years, you were able to do more. But it's funny because I feel like time's running out. Like I have that clicking, that counter in my head too, and I am young. So it's like it's a scary thing because like you realize how finite it is. Yeah. But then you don't use it properly, even though you know you have to.
Right.
But in that, you do use it properly because you did create more in those 6 years than other people, but you're still mad at yourself for not, utilizing that even better.
Well, I stand to say that I was actually creating while I was away. So I've been in the free world since 2006. So we're in 2022. I have a lot of accomplishments that I know people who have been living their entire life with more resources and more access to resources ever than could ever do. So not saying they're not great, not saying that they ain't shit, but to distinguish oneself in that, you know, I've done more things than people who have more shit than me.
Yeah, but that's, I feel bad that I'm even wearing the like side A, but like that's what I wanted to talk. Like some people have the book and don't understand the like message in it. Like
Yeah.
you tapped into something that some people find and some people don't.
Right. So when you say you feel bad, you wearing a side A, what do you mean?
Because I hate, like, I don't promote, you know what I mean? Like, I just was wearing it, but like you talk about on the intro,
Yeah.
you talk about the like, some people get it and some people don't.
Yeah. Well, it's a wisdom teaching. I want to say what you're saying is you speaking about, I said homie would write a book about it and they still wouldn't read it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's just from my observation of humans over the course of many years. You have people who are posture themselves as your a contemporary or equal, but I'm like, whoa, how the fuck are we equal? And we are not even intellectually bound. We don't even share. You don't even got the dudes. I'll be like, dude, you ain't got no art or no books in your crib. Me and you is not the same. Yeah. We not the same. I'm not gonna force the pieces too. I'm not finna make you elevate you because you don't got no books and no art. So it's something that you don't. That's like taking the relationship advice from somebody that only got one girl. You heard? You don't have no context. You heard?
Yeah.
You've never seen them around mad wizards. You heard? So how could you get some sense of relationship advice from somebody that don't have access to that mystery? You feel me?
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's the same.
But
And
don't you think then success is the having that timer, the wasting time? Like people who aren't successful don't care about wasting time. Like that.
I don't know. Because successful people oftentimes are on a different type of time. You ever hear that in the street when people say, yo, boy and them out, they on a different type of time, or
Yeah.
I'm on a different type of time. I ain't on that like this. We all participate in this sequence of time. We are all under this universal sun, traveling at an amazing rapid speed throughout an expansive universe, you heard, that keeps expanding. So I'm like, we all do not access the same reality the same way, you know? And the auspicious aspect of that is that it's like that for a reason. The world would be dull had we all been gradated, the same height, the same stance, the same shoe size, the same everything. The world would be, it would not have the beauty of its variety. You feel me? So the individual has to kind of like, you got to adopt for yourself a understanding that the creative principle that made us created us in different. This is in the Quran. It says that Allah says, subhanahu wa ta'ala says that he created people, I'm paraphrasing, in different forms so that not that they may despise one another, so that they can distinguish one another when they're around one another. You heard? So it's never too late to be great. If you want to be greater than you are, even millionaires and billionaires, they seek to be a greater person, or should, each day. Even those who are destitute, you heard? You might be homeless or in prison. You still have a duty to be a better person than you was yesterday into the next day. Even if you're not actively acknowledging it, the cellular structure of the human is amazing. We have to stop being afraid of maturity. People think when you get mature, you get older, they think that the dulling of the senses or the weakness of the sinews and the bones and the muscle structure is a depreciating factor of the human experience, when in fact it's not. It's more instructional than anything. You heard? Teaches you about, you remember when you was a kid and you could get on swings and shit and fall off bikes and jump off, you could jump at least a 3-story roof or 2-story roof and land and just be like this a little bit, and just get up and keep going with your friends. I dare you to do some of that shit now. So what does it show you psychically? It shows you that your wisdom is associated to your growth in your body, and you know that the bones ain't like little toys no more. You just can't slam your motherfucking ass against shit, get hit by all kind of cars, and get up and keep going. You heard? It's not that type of energy no more. Yeah. You know? So you move accordingly once you become aware of that. You know what I'm saying? And again, you always have to reiterate this to all people. Everyone, it's never too late to be great. For nobody is exempt from that rule. You can improve the circumstances surrounding your existence immediately. You heard? Promise you.
Did you always feel great, or did you find greatness?
I was told I was great as a child, but with a child like mine, those are just words. You don't catch up to the sentimentality of it until you get context of what's not great. So I wasn't around a lot of shit that wasn't great until I started being a street person and going to jail and being around shit that's not fucking great. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then I had to reobtain what greatness is with a fortitude and a courage that goes beyond the common man who seeks to be accepted by his peers, who oftentimes are derelicts. And you don't even be knowing it because you're so entrenched as a young person. You want to be down. It's a part of your neurological makeup that to be the person that you are, you always got to be down with others. And then I had to realize that you will fuck around and be dying for the homies. You'll be dying for some shit that would never die for you. You know? Yeah. I swear to God, I remember vividly as a child remembering saying that my aspiration was to be so admired by my friends that when I do die of an untimely death, they will remember me and put a mural up around my way and say, word to Ahmed, about things that they want to tell the truth. They were proclaiming on my death. You heard? That the thing was true. Yes, bro. For a desire to be down. And that was the only context in that environment. You be outside. I never forget one of my childhood friends. We were super young. He was 14 years old. 14, 15 years old. Super young. He had grown men trying to kill him, son. This dude, he was so exceptionally advanced that one time, God bless him, he got locked up in New Jersey and refused to be in the juvenile shit. He lied and told him that he was an adult so he could be with the adults and was in there rocking and rolling. You heard? So I'm like this. That's one of the first funerals I ever went to as a young person, right? And I remember the turbulence of that time period where nobody could explain why they was dying. Grown-ass men killed my man, you heard? They killed him, grown-ass niggas, man, not his peers, you heard? So this one I was like, you know what? I kind of dislike humans and I dislike this world and I dislike this shit, but I was too young and I didn't have enough fucking resources to be able to walk away from it. So I got immersed in it. And I was trying to find myself within that depravity, you know, trying to find myself in that depravity. God bless my mother for giving me context for what greatness should be. And I see my mother lose her, what people would call sanity, not from getting high. She didn't get high. Not from drinking You heard? Because she didn't drink. From just dealing with humans who ain't shit. They just ain't shit because they don't remember. You heard? So I have a way, I have a thing now with dealing with humans that for me to be good and okay, I got to be good to them. But one little thing, one little small thing of uncertainty, and I begin to have enmity and hatred for them. And I'll be like, I hope you die for violating the clause between two things in the universe. What can occupy two separate things? There's a thing in between us that we are occupying a space, but there's a space in between us. And if we don't use that space in between us effectively, you know, then we have not grasped the mystery that we all are one. So it don't matter what I do, you do. If somebody do something that we know in another part of the world, it has an effect on us, even if it's so minute that it can't be registered with instrumentation. It's still imprinted in the universal mind, and it remembers association. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You ever hear that? Guilty by association?
Yeah.
Right? So
you are the 5 people you spend the most time with.
That's right.
If
That's
you're
right.
hanging around with.
Correct.
And I've had people have to tell me I'm hanging around with the wrong people.
Yo, bro, my astrologer told me the other day, it's in my chart. My big homie, Rashid, just told me this. I'm challenged by this because of a Neptune placement in Saturn. I have secret enemies. I have people who are always trying to compete with me who are less than me. This is a reoccurring theme since I was a child. You heard? This has occurred on many occasions that I am surrounded by people who think that they are my peers and they're actually not. You heard? And I have to shake that shit off. You heard? And get the fuck away from them. You know what I mean? Because I'm so blessed. I got another part in my chart. But, you know, for the audience, people know, you know, you probably have an audience that's like, they just want to hear about the raps and all.
No. They want to
fucks
hear
with
about
astrology.
They want to hear about this shit too. Yeah.
Bro, I got Jupiter and Pisces. So I'm always going to be blessed. I had money and resources when I was in prison. You heard? I never been fucked up. Promise you. You heard? I'm never, even when if I might think I ain't got shit, I'm surrounded by thousands and thousands of dollars of worth of shit. You heard? For retail all the time. In fact, I make a mockery of money. I get some money and I go invest it into something that will exponentially keep going. I never bought a book. There are books that decrease in their value from their retail value. I don't buy books that decrease in value once they walk out the store. Every book you see in here is connected to a significant conversation that exponentially grows and becomes livelihood, significance. Every image in here, you heard? Everything is significant. This right here is one of the most exponentially each day this grows in value. We can start with this at 2,700 and go to 5,000. And my daughter's 13. By the time my daughter is 23, it will exponentially grow more. I got this from my dad. So he had a few of them. This is the actual poster flyer for this exhibit where they didn't even sell no art. They sold not one piece that day. You heard? The critics was judging Warhol for saying that he was trying to reinvigorate himself through a younger artist. You heard? But not knowing that it was Warhol who actually opened the door and the way for Basquiat because he wasn't afraid to approach Andy Warhol and say, yo, look, I'm an artist. Look at what I do. Andy Warhol bought some of his pieces right there. You heard?
That's what the competing, the people wanting to the second you compete with, like, want to compete with someone, you're out of the race. Like,
right.
You're not in it. Like,
right.
this, as soon as you compare yourself to someone or
Right.
your success to someone, you're not even in the race. That person's above
Right.
you. Like,
Right.
that's why
Right.
you're talking about this. Like, it's not like he goes up to him trying to be like
Nah, he was trying
the
to sell
peers. Like,
something.
he's not trying to be like, you're
Right.
talking about people wanting to be your peers.
And Basquiat's contemporary, he had someone with him at the time. They used to write the same name. Yeah. He had somebody with them. And he was like, yo, Andy Warhol's in there. I want to give him some of my art. He was like, nah, come on, dude. Don't do that. What if he would have listened to that voice? Yeah. We wouldn't know him in the same way that we know him now, you know? So my thing
I
is
think
that,
about that a lot.
yeah,
People tell, if I never if I never followed Khan outside in 2017,
yeah,
none of this shit would have ever happened. And no one
right,
follows him outside after a meet and greet to go smoke with him. But I had a voice tell me go do that.
right,
And that changed everything to
Right.
like,
right. That's our brother. That's right. He's a legend. I met you
at the Buffalo Kids.
at the Buffalo Kids, West Side Gun Day.
Yeah. No,
And
at the opening of the Buffalo Kids
so it was
store.
the opening.
It was
yeah,
the opening
okay,
of the Buffalo Kids store. Yeah.
Okay, bet.
You want to know what? This is a crate. You came up to me because I had a Yagi piece and you wanted a picture of the snake skin
Yeah.
on the sleeve. And I go, are you kidding? I want a picture with you. I was a big
Yeah.
fan of your work. And that was when we met.
No question. No question. That's a blessing. For real. For real.
Crazy.
Word up.
And now we're
Double
here.
up. We in California.
Now,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
You
everyone in
gotta double up.
Cali
Yeah,
does
yeah.
that shit.
For real.
And now we're here.
No question.
What did you mean? I mean, I get it, but it took me longer than any of your other. The first will be the last will be the first.
And the first shall be the last.
Yeah.
That's a that's an old adage that you could find in Gnostic scriptures as well as the traditions of the mystics, like Sufis. You could find even, they say Jesus said that. And I remember when I was a young person and I was about to do that bid, that 10 years, and I had a girlfriend who I was chasing away, kind of being an impulsive, overbearing Scorpio, you know, like being all extra and jealous and like, where the fuck you at? And I'm like, I'm in jail, dude. I'm about to do a decade and I'm trying to control another human being. You heard? And this elder told me, Ronnie Mack told me, he said, yo, you start how you finish, right? And I thought about it. And then when I woke up to that, and I'm still trying to I'm still discerning the meaning of great shit that I've heard and I've said and I've received over this course of years. And I was like, yo, when I first got with the female, I never told her that I loved her. I never used to say that. Maybe I used to show it, but I never told her that because in my being educated falsely, like I'm like, you go to buy a lot of people won't tell you this. In the inner city, you get a lot of bad advice. You go to barbershops, that is the best place to get the worst advice that'll save your life. You get some bad advice, it's possible, you heard? But it's a temporary save, you heard? If you wake up, then you be like, now your life is actually saved, you heard? Because now you realize that you had some bad fucking advice, right? And they weren't talking about the people that raised me, and I was in the street, raised me in a barbershop. They wasn't talking about love. They wasn't talking about finding no woman to love and be affectionate with. They was like, man, as soon as you start getting soft, they gonna get on. You heard? And get the fuck on. Don't give a fuck about you neither. You heard? So I'm like this. I waited all the way till I got to jail and needed the girl the most to start love bombing her. Love bombs all day like this. I love you. Waking up on the phone. I'm the first motherfucker on the phone in the morning. I'm the last motherfucker on the phone at night. Just love bombing, bomb on the phone. Hey, baby, you gonna come see me this week? I'll see you this weekend, all that stupid shit. That shit got tired. So I inopportunely was starting to say I loved her after I already got jammed. Why ain't do it from the beginning? You dig? So how you start is how you fucking finish. Feel me? I started without love and finished without love. You feel me?
Yeah. Shit. That is, I'm just letting that process because that's real.
I'm still
like,
processing that
yeah.
shit.
And shit, when you said that shit, I honestly have never thought about it like that. Like when I think about relationships,
yeah,
I'll be good until I need that shit. And then you're like, you push that throttle to 10 because you need something that you should have been working on from the beginning.
from the door.
How you start is how you finish. That's some real shit. And that goes back to, you know what? Like in the beginning of the conversation, I was a little bit lost in what you were saying with the like I was trying to process what you were saying with the losing knowledge and everything. But I feel that because that's what I was trying to get at is like when you run, like when I started this, I was like, when I started my journey, you go, you know what? I don't care what the path is. I'm going to take it how it goes and be my best self. But then when you start to get shit, you want to like more of it. So you start to like push it.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, no, I should have trusted the process that I had this whole time, the knowledge.
Well, you have context for process. A lot of people don't have it. And as a young person, you're doing excellent, Sam, because you're very consistent. You're the same person every time I see you and we speak. And you got access to a lot of great people who are doing great stuff and you have not let it go to your head. You know, it doesn't appear that way, you know?
Yeah.
And there's a great deal of success in that, you know? And it appears that you're having fun while you're working. And if you got to work and it's no longer fun, then it's either you got to find something else to do. You heard? And so far, a lot of people, this is beautiful that as a commentator on in the realm of hip hop and entertainment and the other people, the great comedians and stuff that you have interviewed, that you are not adding to or contributing to separating the people or dividing them. You ain't finna ask nobody no stupid question that I've never heard or seen that would make somebody have to negatively speak about somebody. You know, because you know hip hop can be very volatile. And as my brother Planet Asia said, it's one of the most condescending art forms. So much condescension. And you could be talking about somebody in their face, you heard? But because it's art, you heard, you can't respond.
I think because stand-up is very, I don't mean to cut you off, I'm sorry, but it's because people think that there's one spot, whether it's with rap or comedy. It's like they think it's the one person on stage. Yeah. So then because like to me, rappers are way nicer to me than comedians are. Because like they think we're going for the same thing, even though we're not. Yeah. You know, but it could like rap. It's fun, you know, like they think they're going for the same thing, but
right.
Who gives? There's not one single spot that everyone's vying for.
Right. So I say, just to broaden the discussion and to add more to it, is there, well, are we looking for solutions? Are we looking for problems? Because I'm not looking for problems if I don't have no solutions to solve it. And that's what I be thinking the rap be. It be a constantly finding problems, but not having the wisdom enough to put at the last bar, you heard? The last stanza, the last aspect to solve the problem of the quandary that the artist has said there was in the beginning. You heard? So if you look at the things that the rappers say they against and that they don't fuck with, you heard? The very things that they say that they against and that they don't fuck with, if they was really taking into consideration what the social pressure of what created the environment for them to even be rapping like that about volatility is, the very things that you don't like emanate and are born from the hopelessness created by the culture. So one of the examples that I say is this: what type of child do you think will grow up in an environment where they selling, and I seen this, they selling crack and doing selling crack, the crackheads is fucking on the roof. You come outside your building and they pumping crack in your hallway, and your grandmama got to go to the store. So crackheads is coming to the building, and sometimes they don't have money, and they be done robbed your grandmother, but you got to be a real nigga, you heard? And walk past the depravity each day and then become a part of it, to not change it, but just to have a say in the continuous depravity that creates the hopelessness in the very things that you don't like. So all crimes that humans commit are crimes of poverty. Every single one. Every single crime that you can imagine, from the most absurd to the most insidious, you heard, all have a connection to poverty. Somebody feeling as though that they don't. You heard? So what interesting thing about music is that it's always been here, and it's always been used as an instrument, a cultural instrument with tinges of sorcery to, I use sorcery in a very holistic way, dealing with ritual. It's the human's ritualistic desire to join or connect itself to the universal narrative, the universal sound of growth and development, love, appreciation, you heard? Honor, remembrance. The greatest musicians, that's why we know the nicest rappers is the ones that go in the booth and he ain't writing shit down. He's putting that shit together mentally, you heard? Big do it. Conway do it. A lot of people do it. I want to say I seen Rome do it. You heard? I know Aaron can do it. You heard? They start formulating Hove. You know what I'm saying?
You go into the flow state.
Yeah, bro. If that's not the most genius tool of human experiences and the ability to recall words that have emotional sentimentality, girded by no barrier, no fear. You know how much fear it requires. That's when people, fear of performance and all that stuff. They be like this. You fuck around and be thinking about something that don't have nothing to do with the performance and fuck your whole shit off. So you know how ill these dudes' minds are quantumly, that they can control the outcome of the next unfolding minute narratively through the listener. So when you leave these dudes' concerts, I'll be like, shit, that was a fucking spiritual experience. You dig what I'm saying?
I told that to Rome when I saw him. I went to his show, a Trippin' Balls,
In
and
New
I
York?
said it was a spiritual.
In New York?
It was what that before I went to that one
That one was
Trippin' when we
crazy.
were together, the
Yeah.
Flea Lord,
Yeah.
and then the one in Boston. But I said
Shout
it
out
was
to both of them, Flea Lord and
Yeah.
Rome. Word is
it was a
bond.
spiritual experience.
Yes, sir.
But you say things, and the way you speak and the way that knowledge flows from you go into those flow states. And you even said before that you try to decipher knowledge that you say.
Yeah, after the fact.
Where do you think those ideas come from then, that flow state? Because you do, I don't want to speak for you, but Don't you think you have a tap in to a knowledge that many don't?
I do. I think it comes from my parents. Uh, my mother nurtured an environment around me that put more emphasis on my intellect than I found this to be when I was growing up in the street trying to find myself early on in the street, I found it to be a barrier in a world that needs proof physically. You heard? As opposed to mental, because you could get hated for being too intelligent. So I had to learn a fortitude where I was not afraid to be intelligent. It was a time where I was trying to turn intelligence off to be down with stupid niggas, bro. And then I guess my Scorpio shit's so petty that I can't do it. You heard? I'm so petty that I actually can't act as if. You heard? I can't. I get after a while, it'll make me I start fucking hating myself, bro, for acting stupid around some stupid shit. You heard? And I can't have no niggas thinking around about acting around me like they smarter than me, and you really not. You heard? That shit is the worst shit to me. I swear to God, I start bugging. I'll be like, whoa. So then you mean that you is tough. So you think being tough is intelligent. Well, let me tell you something. Tough guys ain't make no gun. An engineer made a gun. You heard? Who was calculated. You heard? Who knew how to put a fucking carbines and shit like this. Who the fuck that made up the millimeters and all that? This is this millimeter, that millimeter. A tough guy? No, a fucking scientist who had the intent of using engineering to create shit that could propel out of a fucking object that you could fit in your hand that could pierce through the flesh and go through. They got guns that could go through schools. You heard? Feel me?
Yeah.
So I'm like this. What did that? Emotional irrationality? You heard? Who created that shit? Huh? A fucking genius. You heard? So maybe they scared the wrong person. You feel me?
Yeah.
So I'm like this. I don't like to be afraid because it's not good for other people. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you scare me, I'm fucking brilliant. You heard? I'm going to figure some shit out. You heard? I swear to God. I swear to God. Yo, I'm stupid. Promise you. Don't scare me. You heard? Yeah. Don't tell me you know gangster. You heard? Because now I'm afraid. You feel me? And then
when shit's real, you don't need to say it.
Man, right. Who does that? You know what I mean? Who does that?
And I know this isn't the same thing you were saying before, but it clicks when you're talking turning a tree into a house.
Huh.
Like turn
do
it
you
like
know do you know how beautiful that experience is? You know, it's nothing short of spirit when man created and took the time to forge metal to be able to cut trees. It saved his life. You heard? Before he can have shelter, he had to be able to forge a metal in such a way that it was now an instrument that coupled itself with physics, force, gravity, because, you know, hammers work best with gravity. You heard? I don't know if I don't know if hammers work good in space. You heard? I don't know. But on
I
this
never
planet,
thought about that shit.
Yeah. But on this planet, you heard?
Yeah.
I think you're gonna need some gravity. And gravity is our friend. You heard? Gravity is our friend. And it's gonna be our last invitation to the realest truth ever called the grave. You heard? Your grave is gonna be your final statement. You know? And then the thing with music is interesting. This is why I'm like, you can't just do music by yourself. Anybody that don't do graffiti, and you don't do art, I think all artists need to write books Because it's gonna be a time when they played your last song and there's not a human to play it. You heard? Where it's just been played and it would never be played again. This is why hip hop is beautiful. This is what James Brown will tell you that saved his life. He said it. I know an artist, God bless him, named Edwin Birdsong, that came to my lectures at the Karash Unity Center here in Los Angeles years ago. And at the end, this is an elder. The man was in his 80s. You heard? He came there with his young wife, and he said, "Man, she told me to come here because you on one. You a teacher like this, boom." And he was like, "Yeah, whatever. Let me see what this young man's talking about." And I impressed him so much that he bought all my material and then told me, he said, "Call me tomorrow. I'm going to give you my number. I'm going to take you to meet Stevie Wonder." You heard? So I said, I done heard all type of shit. People be telling me all type of shit, and I'll be like, whatever. I'm like, good. Thank you for buying all this shit, though. You heard?
Yeah.
Thank you for that. But he said, I'm going to take you to see Stevie Wonder tomorrow. I promise you, King. The man took me to go meet Stevie Wonder at the Wonderland Studios. The man is the one. De La Soul have sampled him. Kanye West has sampled him. Daft Punk has sampled him. Black Eyed Peas have sampled him. Will.i.am have sampled this man. You heard? Promise you, he's a legend. You heard? So I'm like, you never know how far your message will get. You heard? You just got to stay down and stay true to your message.
And that,
for real.
And that's the trust in time. So we're talking about cutting down the tree, having to create the metal to do that. You have to have a trust in time that it's going to work out, because shelter is an immediate thing. But to create a house, you can't have immediacy. You can't do it immediately. You need to have a trust that it will come in time. That's how it is with a message.
Sam, I'm trying to learn that. And the best way to do that is have a solid team. I'm gonna need my folks around me to be solid as a rock. Got to be more solid than me. I might have the plan, but I just need more solid people around me.
What do they say? A band's only as good as its worst player.
That's crazy.
That's what my dad used to tell me.
Wow.
Or a team is only as good as its worst player.
That's right. That's right.
And I want to be the worst player on my team so that I have something to look up to, because
that's a very interesting perspective.
Because I know that I'm not going to be,
hopefully it's a winning team.
It is.
Because that's what, like, when I was growing up, I swear to God, my friends, who was really my friends, they'd pick me for the basketball, to play basketball. And these motherfuckers was nice, Sam, with the crossovers, with the, like, I'm talking about super nice. But they knew me to know what I could do. And they said, I'm good at the baseline, right there. Off the backboard, poof, like this. They not even paying attention to me. You heard? I got it. I can do that, bro. But don't let me start competing with my teammates. My homie got a 15-footer. He can go all the way to the key, take you all the way to the key, kill you with the crossover, boom, 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 and then go, and the shit go, no backboard, nothing, none of that shit. This motherfucker nice. Then my other man, ooh, he could penetrate and go, all of this stupid shit, like this, boom. When I try to do that shit, we like, get that stupid shit out of here. Yeah.
You have to find who you are, not who you want to be.
You is and not who you want to be. Correct.
Yeah.
Promise you. Promise you.
Everybody, yeah. That shit's because like that shit's real. You gotta find who you are. And people do spend their whole life pushing away who they actually are.
Yeah. Which is sometimes good when you ain't shit. So you need to push the part of you that ain't shit out of you.
All right, but
You need to get the fuck on with that bullshit because it's not serving you.
But that's, you were saying yesterday or the day before that we try to find God in everything we do.
Yeah.
Like with every object we partake in or
Yeah.
substance we use. And that is based off of us pushing away things in our childhood. And so I think that is because there's a good version of yourself and there's a bad version of yourself. And the
Right.
bad version of yourself is letting you feel the shit you went through. And the good version of yourself is using the shit you went through.
Man, the beauty of life is yet to be found by the living. You know, it's an act of discovery. So the greatest tool for mental health, or for people who, if you ever felt depressed or down bad or not appreciated, you have to learn how to make your own mirror. Oftentimes we try to look in mirrors not made of our own creation, and we don't like what we see. You heard? I fuck around, make my own mirror. And this is undeniable. The world shows you this too. You will be treated how you feel about yourself. You heard? And you will be treated inappropriately by people who are not actually your friend if you keep acting like friendship is a real thing without the glad tidings of the work required to advance what friendship entails. It's stuff that you got to do to reinforce friendship. Do you want to be in a house? If you want to live in a house by yourself, the roof has to be a friend to you. You have to do work on it though. If you don't work on your friends, which is the roof, it's going to leak when it rains, bro. You feel me?
Yeah.
So culturally, I'll be like, yo, I don't like the culture connected to and associated to my people that teaches the young people that they're going to get and do some shit by themselves because it's impossible. You feel me? It's impossible. That's why the greatest rap groups in the world, you know what lives longer? And everybody starts from a group. You heard? Ask all of the dudes that think that they lit by themselves. We don't give a fuck about you by yourself. Do you know, as the fan means, shout out to my brother Chase Infinite. He said, once you learn the meaning of fan, you'll learn how to make some money with music because you will address fanaticism. And humans are fanatical about family, bro. People love certain type of musical shit because they see a family structure, bro. Why you think the Wu-Tang is the most iconic and significant import to hip-hop ever in history, bro? It's so ubiquitous in everything. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. You heard? All over the world. Because of why? Because people see familial unity. And then when you get the narrative, you be like, hold up. Homie and them was trying to kill each other. Had one of y'all slipped around and fucked around and hurt each other back in the day, we would not have that classic tape.
And that goes back to what we were talking about with the love.
Love. That's right.
Love is something to worry. It can't be there when you want it. It has to be there the whole time.
24. My man. Yeah, I'm stealing that. I'm snatching your chain. I'm from Brooklyn. I'm snatching your chain, Jack. Sam.
It's true though.
That's a good one. Pass me my phone, Jay. I finna steal this nigga shit right now. Get this shit. Got to write this shit down.
But that's how I feel when I hear your shit.
That's a good one. You my brother for that.
It's true, but
I got to hit the pin now with the
and on some real shit, that knowledge would never have come out without the conversation, though. I needed to hear what knowledge you have to say, and it goes into the flow state. I'll be the first one to admit, man, I hate when people watch the first 15 minutes of a podcast. It's like watching the first 15 minutes of someone work it, like running. It's like they're not it's like, nah, you got to get into the flow state first. Like the knowledge needs to come out. The first 15 minutes
if you was
settling
to start
in.
off straight knowledge from the very beginning, that cut it off. It's an exceptional type of person.
I mean, I'll break the fourth wall on this shit. Is like, shit, that's why I like smoking on this. That's why I like being silly. That's why I'm a comedian.
Right.
That's because it's like, you can just see it as face value, or you can see what I'm actually trying to do.
Yeah.
This is so, it's funny. I did want to talk to you about this in person, because it's really people not understanding.
Look, I got to send a picture of me and this to my daughter, so she know I'm doing a podcast right now. She texting me right now.
Congrats on a recital.
Yeah, no question. We going over there. She's a great visual artist and a wonderful bass guitarist. You know?
She has a good base of knowledge to draw from.
Hell yeah. Me and her mama is smart. Her mama is brilliant. Her mama could look at a compound and chemically tell you what the shit is with beakers and all this shit. She's in the biological crazy shit. I'm like, what? God damn. How you know that? Like this, you know what I mean? So she got, it's all praise due to the creator. But finish what you were saying, King.
I was saying that people, when I first heard you got the Black Hitler thing, right?
She's a goddamn comedian. I sent her a picture. She said, I thought you was doing karaoke or something. Yo, she is funny, bro.
I feel like that's because I look like a karaoke host.
Yo, man. Yo.
I give off karaoke host energy.
Yo, it's funny. But
I was saying you got the Black Hitler thing there, and the Black Hitler intro is one of my favorite things to listen to.
Oh, let me tell you something about the Black Hitler intro.
And people send me that shit because we did the podcast together, not even understanding what that shit really is, what that shit really meant.
No, let me tell you what that is. The Black Hitler intro, right, is, first of all, let me tell you how I found out about it. I woke up one day and I looked at my phone and I had a lot of messages, right, with pictures of Black Hitler in it, right? So I was like, yo, like I was low key like bugging, like, yo, what's going on, right? Then I hit one of the messages and it was my voice, right? And it was my voice saying some crazy shit that impulsively I had felt in real time where I was at. You heard? And it was all because of this. Los Angeles, right? And I had on, shout out to that company Dope.
Mm-hmm.
So Dope they do flips. They did a Dope sport, like a polo sport jacket. I still have it. And it was the American flag. So this is post 12 years a slave when I had it on, right? And I promise you, the computer did that stupid shit again, right? So then I go like this. I'm wearing a jacket and I'm downtown LA. And a lot of people think that just because a motherfucker in a tent don't mean they homeless. You heard? The motherfuckers is crazy, right? So I hear this shit. I'm passing it, motherfucker, and I see them standing there, and I'm listening. I'm like this, yo. He said, I swear to God, the shit made me laugh, bro. he said to the other people, they must have been lit or something. He said, here come 12 months a slave. Look at this shit, right? And I was like, oh, I looked at the jacket. I said, oh, he getting at me because I got the jacket, right? I promise you. And my folks I was with, when I walked up to the car, she said, why you laughing like that? And I said, yo, I swear to God, the nigga just called me 12 months a slave. You heard? So I did a live because I was lit one, right? I wasn't offended, but I was offended. But I wasn't finna say shit to nobody in no tent. You heard?
Yeah.
That was that funny anyway. You heard?
He doesn't deserve to be that funny in a tent.
You never know out here. Motherfucker, somebody big homie. You heard? That stupid shit. You know what I mean? So I'm like this, whatever, right? So I'm laughing. I'm like, yo, not like that, right? And then I did the live, and then my contemporaries, my youth that I mentor, I guess you call them students, whatever, you heard? The young people I look up to who consider my contributions important have recorded it, you heard? The live and put it to a beat, and that person happened to be Saru Gold. So playing the stuff, he sent it to Gun, and Gun said, give me that. I need that, you heard? So when I listened to it, though, and I listened to it intently, I appreciate Gun for putting that out and making, I'm lit off of that, right?
Yeah.
But one of my friends had a white girlfriend, and I never around them gave the indication that I had racial undertones to how I express myself. And quite naturally, as a woman, she was sensitive to the tone, you heard, of how I was saying what I said. I'm not gonna repeat what I said, you heard, and asked my homie and was like, yo, is he really like that? You heard, like this? And that happened 2 occasions. You heard? So I said, the music and art is very interesting. You can be sometime misquoted or taken out of context. But I already accepted the fact that I have done so much teaching about Black history and about how Black people are not represented in history, and have done so in front of crowds of Black people, that we speak a certain kind of way to speak up, not to speak down. We're speaking up, you heard? Not speaking down. And what they heard was me in a space of not volatility, but an emotional attachment to somebody reminded me of why I actually used to wear, as a child, Ralph Lauren. We used to wear Ralph Lauren as a representation that we were not afraid to steal what we considered was the highest end thing. Nowadays, they got grown-ass men standing online waiting to buy some shit that we used to take when we was babies. You heard? Steam Team. You heard? So I'm like this, not running out the store with pocketbooks and shit. You heard? Because I wear athletic shit all day. You heard? I don't wear athletic attire. You heard? And shit, like I wear utility shit. You heard?
Yeah.
I might got maybe 2 pair of sweatpants in my crib. You heard? Like, so the new youth, they all look like they play football, basketball, some shit, or soccer. Like they always going to practice. I don't practice. You heard? We go to do what we do. Not to digress, but that's really the meaning of that. So when people admire that what I said on that, I'm very grateful, first of all, for being a part of anything in the music realm that's acknowledged by people who are artists. I find that all the people who pay attention to what's going on in Buffalo, Griselda, Gun, Way, Benny, all that, Camino, Esco, everybody, Yagi, everybody, Plum, everybody, you heard? I'm so grateful to know them. Love the genius. All of them. I love them, bro. King Trav, you heard? May and Hazel Street, you heard? I love them. I'm so honored and I feel so good to know that through the course of my experience, I was able to find people that admire something that I think is good about me, you heard? And then fuck the bad part about me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, to people who may have been offended by what I say, I'm going to be on your podcast and I'm going to say, I apologize to them for feeling offended if they was offended by what they hear as volatility, you heard? But it's very much a part of the artistic strain of what we're doing. You got to show people the pulse of people's humanity.
Why is talking taken at such a different level, though? Because if you said that, I know there's a beat over it, but if you rapped similar sentiments, it would be taken differently. Like stand up, if you say something, it's taken at a different value than if you.
It might have something to do with the human biology and how you process words. If you say something, this is how Western man was able to take over the world through satire. You heard? So you find in certain religions, Islamic religions in particular, there's not a surah in the Quran that venerates dogs nor mice. You heard? Because the salivary glands of dogs carry disease, you heard? As well as mice. A mouse could knock over a candle and cause a fire, you heard? So you don't hear it being venerated in cultural paradigms, you heard? But then when you go to Disney World, Mickey Mouse is huge. And I dare you to say something negative. Slap the shit out of Mickey Mouse if you want to. You heard? The feds is coming out with the Masons, the feds, the NATO, and all of them. They's coming out there to get your ass like this. Boom, take you down, take him down. Look, he's going down like this. Boom, yeah. But how did it become in the Western man's mind that is talking mice? It's cool. You heard? Even a talking tiger. Let's go to lions, the Lion King. You fuck around and show that movie prematurely to a child and then take the child to the zoo. The baby gonna want to get in the cage with the lion, thinking that the lion is gonna be Mufasa in them. You heard? Like this, oh, I'm a kind Disney character. Ha, ha, ha. You heard? So that's a thing with the human mind. If you rhyme a thing through satire and you get a chuckle, you heard? It's not as bad as getting the shit slapped out of you with the truth. Yeah. Because of what you did. So with satire, you can still get the shit slapped out of you, but it's more personal. Kinda. But when you talk it, people can identify. It's probably in behavioral science that they can discuss and speak on that. When you speak a thing and not rhyme it, it registers to a certain part of the brain. You heard?
Yeah.
This is why parents and all of them, they teach they children and all of them, don't be charmed by serpents and snakes. You heard? This is the meaning of the pan piper. You heard? So you walking around with a flute and you making all of the kids follow you. You can make the kids follow you off of a fucking cliff because they they don't have enough wisdom to discern for themselves that these melodies are not in my behalf. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that.
And you were talking about the last. Oh, sorry. No, you keep going. I don't want to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
About the music, modern music, how a lot of problems, no solutions.
Right. So when you speak and you don't have solutions with this, see, when I grew up, my favorite rap groups is De La Soul, Brand Nubian, Jungle Brothers. You heard? I always revisit those. Beastie Boys. You heard? I revisit that. Run DMC, that type of stuff. Lord Finesse. You feel me? Like that. When I became older and I started being outside, we was listening to, you heard, like even as wisdom teachers in the early locks, We Are the Streets is one of the greatest albums ever recorded, ever. You heard? Ever. All of that Jim Jones heat making shit that yeah, yeah, all of that sound come from people experiences. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I stood alone in the 4-room group staring at candles, listening to gangster music. Hey, you heard? So that made me, I like that shit because when I was little, one of my big homies fucking with Animal, what's that shit? Elephant tranquilizer, nigga. We was smoking Elephant tranquilizer, listening to the Ghetto Boys. You heard? Listening to my mom play tricks on me when these niggas was little niggas. I was actually outside because I had to be, not because I wanted to be. Yeah. So I'm listening to gangster music. Hey, yeah. So when I heard Jim Jones and them talk about that shit, I stood alone in the 4-corner room staring at candles, watching how the gangsters do it. Hey, I was laughing like this. That this shit is crazy. They took the iteration, made it benefit, brought it up to 140th Street, you heard, brought it to Harlem, like this boom from where the Willie D, Bushwick Bill, you heard, you know what I mean? Where they from? Scarface is where they from, you know what I mean? And then I'm like, the music is beautiful. It's like bridge to the future, the past, and everything in between. Promise you.
Why do you think satire's is taken more seriously now? I feel like the line between
satire is not that really taken that seriously. You know why? Because I go like this. Only instances. There's a lot of comedy clubs popping right now. You can get money if you get a comedy club and you get some real comedians and you can sell some good food. You sell some good fucking wings. Serve they have some alcohol. You'll get rich for the rest of your life. Yeah. People is afraid of things that they can't do. I know what I can and I cannot do, but I know who can do it. And I'll facilitate you if you could do it. You heard? If I had the resources, I think the best shit in the world is to have a comedy club because you can get more things across. I can instruct you more through a joke than a reality, or if I try to keep it, you know, a lot of niggas be thinking that they tough. You're not tough. You think you somebody big homie, and then you're not. So you think you could talk to people like this. Yo, let me tell you something. The shit you ain't been through enough. Shut your stupid ass up. My big homies is important and funny. And they'll tell you some shit about yourself in a joke that'll make you laugh and it'll change your life. Now, why you think I give gifts away? My big homie, when I was little, he said, yo, your hands is looking like cups and bowls, man. What the fuck is you always asking me for some shit? Yo, he was like, yo, your hands is looking like cups and bowls, man. What the fuck is you always asking for some shit for? With all the shit you know, you think you know everything, huh? You know everything. Well, show me. Look, boom. So I never forgot that. Your hands, his name is Bobby Brown, Salih. For real, Ramadan Mubarak to him. He's a legend. He's like this. He was like this, yo. And he from Harlem. He was like this. Your hands is looking like cups and bowls, man. You know, early on in the interview, I taught you another wisdom teacher. He taught me, stop showing me the white side of your hand. This is this is a you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this. Just show me the brown side. You heard? Give me some. Yeah, the white side you're taking from. You heard? So I was like this. Oh, you ain't shit for that. You heard? Because he used to be like this. He was a vegetarian. So one of the staples for vegetarians in the jail is peanut butter and jelly. You heard? So if I go to the mess hall and I'm fucking the burgers up, I'm knocking them chickens down. You heard? Anything come over that shit that go boop, 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 and they killed it and they fried it up, whatever, we fucking it up. But he was like, I don't fuck with that. But if you come ask me for a peanut butter jelly sandwich and your stupid ass don't got none, your hands is looking like cups and bowls. You know, that's like asking somebody for a cigarette, bro. If I ask you for a cigarette, that means I'm really not a real professional cigarette smoker. I got that from him too. He said, nah, you don't smoke. Don't ask me for a motherfucker. Yeah, you supposed to have your own shit. You don't really smoke. So you just dabbling with the smoking. You don't have no motherfucking cigarettes. You don't really smoke. Yo, this is how I used to talk to niggas, yo. That's my big homie.
That's true as fuck.
And he never said he was a gangster. He used to just put them skibbity paps on niggas. And I grew up with, if you tell me that you want to, you know how people be like this, yo, we could just scrap, we could just fight and just be all good. I don't come from that school. If you act aggressive to me and you want to ball your fists up and put your hands on me, I think you should die. And you're going to get lined up like that. So it's best to start with sharp instruments. You heard? Don't tell me we about to shoot 5. They jump niggas around my way. You heard? I promise you. Ain't no shooting 5. Ain't no fair ones. We not going to get over it. We not about to shoot 5 and like, we not getting paid. You heard? You play with me, act like you tough. Act like you tough. Why around lames? And watch what happened. I never lost nothing in my life, bro. Swear to God. And I don't have no scars or cuts on me. You heard? And I don't proclaim myself to be tough. I'm scary as fuck, bro. Promise you.
That shit, that shit you said, though, who created a gun is some real shit.
Yeah. Shoot the fair one. Fuck out of here. That's some monkey shit from out here. Cause these niggas abuse each other or wherever they at in the ghetto. You heard? You gotta get beat into your culture. Cause your daddy ain't have enough voice to give you an initiation, and your mama didn't have your daddy there to create your initiation. So you got to go outside with a bunch of derelicts and crackheads and get beat up by crack babies. You heard? Got me fucked up. And I'm like this, if you can't respect what I'm doing and don't see, a lot of people be really low-key mad because they perceive that I'm more successful than them because of my association to that which is successful. You heard? You heard? So they be mad at me because I'm so accessible to them. But I'm gonna tell you something. I should have been not let you lames be around me. You heard? Not you. You know what I mean?
Nah, that's what isn't that what you tell?
How we speak.
That's what he tells me all. Nah. On some real shit.
Yeah, shout out to Jay.
Shout out Jay. Yeah. He is a legend, but that's some real shit. People get mad at you that you're accessible, but near people who are more successful than you, and they attach that success to you.
Correct.
Not realizing you're on your own path anyway.
Correct.
Like, and also that shit fucks with me because when I was younger, I was like, damn, people are kind of like standoffish. But it's like they're aware of their time.
Correct.
And you can be nice and standoffish, but you have to respect your own time and others. Nothing I hate more than someone who doesn't respect my time.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you something. There's a contingent of serial killers called time killers. They too pussy and not built like that to actually harm people. You heard? But they go look for time to kill. You heard? And feel satisfied. They be like, oh, I just got 2 days out this motherfucker, great motherfucker. I'm about to bullshit this nigga. I'm not doing nothing of what he said tomorrow. You heard? That's how they be. Like a little soft bitch. You heard? Serial killer. You heard?
Yeah.
Because serial killers just want power. Because they hate themselves and they hate humans. You heard? Some of them do it in different ways. I'm telling you, y'all lucky Bukowski was a writer. Because he had all of the undertones of serial killing. He hated humans. He didn't want to brush elbows with them. He felt like he wasn't amazing, you heard? And he always announced, God bless this man, I forgot his name. He passed away. We used to be at the King Eddie Saloon on 5th in Los Angeles, and Bukowski used to be in that bar, you heard? And it was people lived over the bar that been going to that bar. The man told me he had 2 jobs in the 1960s. He used to get like 300, no, excuse me. He used to say he used to get 2 jobs. I want to say the 50s. He was old as fuck. You heard? Not in a bad way, because I'm going to get old as fuck too, because I'm not finna die early. Not before these lames. The Levi's is going to die before me, right? Boom. I go like this, and he used to go, yo, I'm going to get funnier when I get older too, I swear to God, and more crazier. And like my daddy is a legend. My daddy is born in 1949.
You got turned into Sun Ra.
Promise you. You seen the Chicago art ensemble album I bought up here? I got pictures of those people. That's why I bought the album. You heard? So I go like this. He used to be like this. Bukowski was horrible, bro. They used to be like this. Everybody that meet him in the bar, he'd be like, my name is Charles Bukowski. I'm a writer. So people that didn't write and didn't do that, they couldn't stand him, bro. Yeah. And then when you look at his interviews, he's like this, I hate humans. He was like, I could do the whole, he said, I'm not trying to save nobody. He used to be, I'm not trying to save nobody, the world, and not even myself. You heard? So I'm like this. That's his form of serial killing. Imagine the lames, the Levi's, you heard? That we all supposed to be all in together now. Write down how many people that you know. Write every list of everybody that you know, and then do a check next to the name of everybody that you know that you have gotten money with. You heard? You don't get money with these people you call your friends. And then the ones that you can get money with, do another list and see how many of them executed the task without getting caught up feeling like a sucker. You heard? So me, I'm like, yo, grew up in an environment all in together now. You heard? You can't do it by yourself. Yo, that no other culture or neighborhood got this. My culture got this. I seen my big homies in them go to college with street money. I swear to God.
I know people. No, I know people like that too.
I didn't see none of my big homies that I grew up in the street with, like that raised me in the street, in the joint. You heard? They got busy to get busy. You heard? So when your daddy not there, when your mama stressed, you heard? Cause your daddy not there, Yeah. Then you start looking like your daddy. Then the environs is crazy. Then all this shit going on. Then what kind of person are you in the culture? And then we're not here to make nobody feel bad about their experience. I'm like this. I wrote 4, 3, 7, 8, 9 books talking about the greatness. Even if you depraved, I say, yo, I love all my people wherever I find you. Wherever I find you. If I see you under the freeway, you heard? If I see your stupid ass on the news, you heard? If I see you great, poor, this, that, I love you. I love you. I know what you had to go through. I love all human beings that have to go through something. Do you know I don't have no survivor's guilt? You heard? Some people have that. You heard? Can you imagine the feeling of people? I had to tell one of my homies the other day. And this, I do everything for a reason. I'm more candid now. You heard? Do everything for a reason. When I be saying pilgrim, one of my homies, one of his parents is white. And if he wasn't no grown-ass man, and if I didn't create the environment that he can express himself, I would have had a new enemy. He was like, yo, he didn't, because he could fight. He ain't confronted like it was a conflict. He was like, yo, when you be saying that, I'll be like, yo, you know what I mean? And then he attributed to what they do with a visual cortex. He like, yo, because, you know, he feel he light-skinned it. You heard? So he feel when I say pilgrim, I'm talking to what that made. You heard? And I'm like, nah, I got that from my big homie. It's better than saying cracker, whites, and it's really psychology. Because I'm going to tell you something. I've been around blacks that are more white than anybody white that you ever met. If white is a thing that you're scared of, or you consider the opposite of what you are. I say it again. I've been around blacks that are more Caucasian and Western if white means blocking black. Does it mean that? No. They might share the spectrum, one end to the other of extremes. But I don't want to be in an extreme difference between my homie because, quote unquote, in quotations, social paradigm has said that he's white. I know about the 8th to the 15th century, the Moors, you heard, and the 19th century, you heard, where ask yourself that, what is this color black? You heard? And what does it mean? What is this color white? White folks need to stand up and say, yo, what does white mean? Stop calling me that. Call me what I am and treat me accordingly. I'm from Scotland. Rashid, one of my students is in Liverpool. You heard? He don't want to hear that he's white. He don't want to hear that. He related to one of the Beatles. He looked just like him. If they make the Beatle movie, I don't know why they older than the motherfucker. God bless them. They still alive. Look, listen.
Not all of them.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Look, yo, how the fuck the Beatles live and the whole Temptations ain't together? You heard? Why the fuck is Teddy Pendergrass and he ain't here no more? You heard? Come on, man. But the Beatles is still, and the Rolling Stones still touring. You heard? Come on. What's the secret? You feel me? It ain't colors. It's the quality of life and knowledge, you heard? Of self-love and having a community that accept you as you accept yourself within the context of you trying to become a better person. You dig what I'm saying? For real. So I think that I'm not doing no podcast. I've already done that. And one of my greatest podcasts, two of them have been with you, and the other ones that I've done with others, but I'm about to start painting at 47 and start creating some retail models for myself, you know what I mean? And get back into my writing because I can help the youth through writing. I don't have to be in your face, you heard? I don't have to announce that I'm doing an album. If you really know that I do music, you'll find it, you heard? I'm not promoting none of that because I don't got the resources or the wherewithal, you heard? I can imagine once you get super successful that you feel crazy if you only sold 100 albums or 20 albums the first day. Person like me don't feel bad. Yeah.
That is such a
my price point, and then I know the journey and the work that I'm doing. If I could sell 20 albums for $100 the first day, for me, that's good. That is impressive to my life and the people around me. If I could do more than that, Allahu Alam, alhamdulillah, that's good. Yeah, that'll be great. Yeah.
But the second you get a little bit of something, you want more of it, I feel. And that's a thing.
Back to our first conversation. Primacy. Yeah. That's the thing you got to be careful of. That'll make you hate people, bro, that are abundant. Because this is the travesty of all people that think that, this is the thing that's going to fuck with you. If you ever get mad successful, you're going to lose friends. Yeah, because people are going to want something that they did not actually participate in the task of acquiring, which is the exposition of wisdom, being able to expound wisdom and matriculate it into money. They can help you. They can put lights on. They can plug the shit in, but they didn't have the wisdom from the experiences to do that. You heard?
Yeah.
Had the same amount of time. They under the same sun as you, the same moon, yeah. Gravitate to the same moon, but you didn't have the same experiences. So don't get mad. Watch the A-Team. You feel me? I grew up with it. It's a team. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. B.A. Baracus is Barack Obama. You heard? Hannibal is Hannibal of Carthage. Murdoch is Marduk, the god inside of these books. And Face Man is the con game. And they in a van. You heard? Kidnapping derelicts. But they always got to put Mr. T, because the black man, 26 times on the A-Team show, he's scared to fly. You heard? So they fly in his dreams. He can't get on a plane. Murdoch. So he's the first one inoculated on the TV. Hannibal when them was hitting Mr. T with the needle, boop, on the way to the airport. I ain't forget nothing. Mark and Mindy. I watched the documentary about Robin Harris. I'm human than a motherfucker. I'm crying on the plane. Like this. That shit is crazy. You heard? He's a fucking genius. You heard? He went crazy in front of everybody for performing for everybody and not actually getting what he received or needed to receive, which was supreme understanding from everybody. You heard? When he killed himself, as they call it, but his wife said he killed himself because of, and they describe a disease though nobody talk about neurologically. You heard? But I'm like this, how do I know about Robin Williams? He was playing out the Dogon myth. Mark and Mindy, he came to the world in an egg. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Fuck popular culture. It's my culture, mythically encoded in everybody's reality, genetically in the world. Some people don't have access to their genes, so they can't see the nuanced mythology manifest in front of them to show that we've been in a time machine. We can never lose. We all one family. Yeah. It's something outside this planet seeking to divide us, but it ain't gonna be me. Yeah. So I go like this, Mark and Mindy. Come on, son. And the elders is the youth. As you go older, you become a child. You heard? In the narrative. Now watch this. The same words you say when you little, it's gonna be the same words you say when you get old. Try to say fuck when you a baby and try to say fuck when you older. It's the same.
How you start is how you end.
how you start is how you finish. Yeah. Fuck that. Yeah. Shit be gone. Shit is missing. Yeah. And then when you 5, that's why the ancients used these numbers, 3 and 2, or 2 and 3, with a ratio. You need 32 teeth. You heard? Everybody, it's very rare for humans to have all of them. You heard? That's theirs, original ones. You heard? So if you had soda, all that shit when you was little, right? You been lost them shits in your little. Some grown-ass people never got a tooth removed until they was in their 30s. You heard? Promise you. So I'm like this. Humans is interesting. Go on the highest elevation or roof you can and drop something. The speed is gonna be in proportion to 2:3 or 3:2 ratio. You heard? The access of the planet. There's no such thing as global warming, son. It's called planet changes and alignment changes. It used to be cold. How the fuck did we get the Grand Canyon? Why ain't no projects in the Grand Canyon, son? And they talk about us homeless people. Come on. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the most important part of the earth is North America, the wilderness of North America, because it's the most coveted. Everything they do is hiding. You heard? Now, in El Salvador, you know what happened? 70-some people died over a weekend. I don't want to hear about your hoods. I don't want to hear about nobody's hood. 70 people died over a weekend in El Salvador, son. You heard? Let's go there. I don't give a fuck about how hot the planet about to get. Neither. You heard? They just had in Sacramento. Sacrament means sacrifice. You heard? Aries, this season is Aries. I don't want to hear nothing from nobody that don't study planetary forms. You heard? You're not a human. You don't have a soul. You don't have a culture, bro. You're not looking to the Celestine canopy. Stonehenge is an astrological shit in Europe. You heard? Astrological time clocks exist in every culture. Just because you ain't tapped in don't mean that we as a collective is not tapped in. We tapped in. You heard? Promise you. Promise you. You can tell who everybody else is in the world besides yourself with a chart. You could tell why you know them with a chart. You heard? You could tell what's going to happen to them.
But ignorance is bliss, and that's a real thing in everything.
Bliss is a good word that they should not waste that word on ignorance. We need to make we need to make a brand called Bliss. Yo, Bliss. You heard? Because it's really not ignorance. Ignorance is this ignorance. Bliss is something else. Bliss is too connected to bless.
Bliss is the flow
ignorance
state.
is not your ignorance won't be your blessing. You heard? I understand what ignorance is bliss. I understand what that means. I done said that in a rap. Yeah. I'm like this, but ooh, we lit. Yeah, share this if you're not afraid. Share this. Share this. My astrologer told me that this is the time to change my team. He said I had too much dark barriers against me, and I've been going against the grain, trying to reduce myself. I've been going downstairs to find help from upstairs, and you can't.
The
Yeah,
spiral mentality.
can't.
Yeah.
You can't. Promise you. A fucking legend. And many, ooh, watch. Watch, we lit.
All right.
My son, back on the thing, bing, bada how. Bang. Watch.
I hope people listening to this really do understand what's being said.
We not.
I don't even understand what's being said, and I'm
Yes, you
saying
do.
it. I do, but I need to understand. You know how you were saying before, like you need to go through, and when you're in the flow state, you don't even know what's coming out sometimes. Knowledge is lost. Knowledge can
Right.
be lost in a conversation.
Right.
That's why it's beautiful these things are recorded.
Right. Right. Our next iteration is this, though. It's gonna be we need films. We need films because this creates the foundation for film narrative. Everything we said, we have given context to a film narrative. You understand?
Yeah.
We can bring this to a film and not be offensive to nobody's humanity and be very instructional.
That's what we're talking about with satire.
Right.
And the ignorance. I mean, everything goes back to if you can just see something at face value, then the ignorant don't even realize the deeper meaning behind it.
Right.
They
you
can
read
just,
Shakespeare?
When I was younger, I haven't.
Revisit it. Denzel Washington said that he could do Shakespeare for the rest of his life. Promise you. I promise. It's so significantly in tune with what's going on now. And if you listen to the dialogue, when you really fuck with Shakespeare, and this is the thing that I have to remind myself that it's a bunch of people that don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. That when I tell you about Shakespeare, how important it is in narrative construction, the reason why we have the inciting incident in film within the first 3 to 5 minutes of the movie is because of Shakespeare. Because he was waiting for the nobles to come into the theater. You heard? If you begin the film in a way and the nobles have not arrived, they won't understand it and say your shit is trash and put you on the menu. When they show the moral dilemma unfold, they'll think that you're talking about them. You heard? So when you say that the people don't listen to the first they only watch 15 minutes of it, you heard? I wish we had the AI to know who the first 15 minutes psychology is. And I bet you that psychology is rooted in the lowest strata of retail models. Those who watch the first 15 minutes of something and stop don't spend money. They bum because they're not nobles. They don't have time. The nobles come in late, but they always say black people is the latest. They always come in late. Blacks, you heard? Let's call it what it is. The nobility from Moorish Spain, you heard? Anybody that came in was connected to that narrative, you heard? So why do we have to compete against that? You know? Now, blacks have to be at a job interview an hour early just to get denied. You heard? Don't get there too early. But then there's a spirituality of punctuality. You heard? But back to narrative construct, you want to read. So shout out to my teachers from it's a damn shame. God damn it. The 4th grade, first of all, I learned how to read from the 1st and the 2nd grade from C.S. Lewis and my teacher, Miss Burkell. You heard? She's a legend.
We were just talking about C.S. Lewis.
Bro,
The
The
book
Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is one of the illest books, right? And then in the sixth grade, my teacher at the time taught us Shakespeare and actually did plays. You heard? And I still speak to students that was in my class that participated in the play, bro. You heard?
Yeah.
That was stars when we was kids. You heard? So I'm like this. Shakespeare is very important, and that's the first song on my Dog Food album. But I spell shake Islamically as Sheikh, a knowledgeable man over 40. So Shakespeare is not one person, it's a collective, and everybody around Francis Bacon or Ibn Arabi. See?
Yeah.
So this is alternative historical narrative. This is shit I had cut the live off. You heard?
Yeah.
This is shit that I make people pay for. You heard? But I also write books. I just don't talk smack. And I can stop talking, period, and still get money. I can get off the internet and still be pursued. People will call me and say, yo, so-and-so is trying to get in contact with you. Would they want to get this and that and the third?
How did you find your worth? Because I have a tough time finding my worth. Like, that's a real, like, especially right now, like right at the cusp of whatever I'm at, it's hard to find my worth.
Well, to be totally honest with you, your worth is not, I'm not a Capricorn, so I'm not a scale. I'm a Scorpio, and all the letters from Scorpio is in the word Capricorn. So I'm opportunistic. So your value is in your sign. Whatever your celestial sign is, I welcome you to the dialogue of getting to that. See, philosophy, Western man philosophy, doesn't speak about celestial canopy. Have you ever been to Grand Central Station?
Yes.
Have you ever seen the ceiling?
Yeah.
I remember when the ceiling had soot on it and you couldn't see the astrology. However, if anybody actually know, it's actually reversed. It would be incorrect if he was looking at it two-dimensionally, because it's a meaning behind that. It means that you are the building. You heard? That's why they have spaces there where you could be in one corner and I could be in this corner and I could whisper and the sound will go to that corner. You heard? That's why there's a time clock in the very center of Grand Central Station. You heard? And if you acutely or abundantly aware of symbolism, you know where the northeast corner is, you heard, of that building, because that train station is a lodge, you heard? And it teaches humans that their reality is based off of where they come from celestially. When your father was irrationally poking fun at your mama, right? You a comedian. You're supposed to get this. Right? That time that they was doing that joke, yeah, which is the most hilarious one ever, right? Because they made your ass, right, and us like this. If we're not the biggest joke to them, right, then I don't know what is, right? So when they were doing the stuff is what you're made of. To understand what you're made of, You need a reading from somebody that knows that, and not the horoscope in the newspaper. Yeah, the horoscope in the newspaper, that shit is just for topical shit. I was in the penitentiary, in the jail, motherfuckers, the day before they go to court. Everybody went the newspaper. Yo, everybody went the newspaper for what? Not to read the news, not to read the news, not to read who's the new this, the new that, none of that. They want to go to the horoscope. And that shit is so nebulous and retarded. It'd be like this, yo. Oh, what's your sign? What's your sign? So Virgo, you're gonna be paying attention to a lot of things. A lot of things are gonna be representing themselves, and you're gonna get confused. You're Scorpio. Look, don't be jealous. Don't be angry. Don't be this. Look, they just use the topical shit. You heard?
Yeah.
That's connect. What's your sign?
Cancer.
Don't be over emotional and don't cry at the dinner table. You heard? You'll turn into a serial killer in Washington, D.C. You heard? Because look, all this type of shit. Look, Cancer is where this is, and they call that Cancer, but it's really a crab. What is it about the crab? You heard? And now cultural morphology will have you thinking that the word crab is a negative word. It's an observational tool. You look at Jordan Peterson, he says that crustaceans have the most significantly similar neurological system sociologically to humans than other animals. So the dominance hierarchy, you heard? When you ever hear the term crabs in the barrel, you heard? So what is it about crustaceans? I dare you to put your finger with one of them dark Jamaican lobsters that'll snap your shit like this. With like the speed that he do that, they could send a ship to space. The ship be like, pow! It might be a little smoke come out of it.
Not my grandfather used to be a lobster fisherman. He was.
You see this? You see what I'm saying? Look.
There we go.
So you see what I'm saying? So boom, pow! That snapping, that's from an animal whose skeleton is outside of itself. Humans operate like that. Even though we have skeletal structure inside of bone, bone is inside of sinew and muscle and meat mass, right? We still operate like like our outside is mass sensitive. So when you want to eat a crab, it don't they even though their shell is outside, it don't take a lot to smash it. You heard? Go to one of them lobster houses with some hungry motherfuckers. They put them stupid ass aprons on. They put butter. I ain't never seen these motherfuckers eat corn in their whole life until they get around some fucking crabs and lobsters and shit and with aprons. They had a motherfucker. My son and them was on the train eating what's them shit? Lobster crab legs. Oh, like this. Fucking them shits up in a plastic bag. Like this. I'm allergic to all that shit though. You heard? But I don't mean that I can't perceive it. So I see what it is. My point being, what are you protecting inside that you need your skeleton outside? See? So why do you act like that, knowing that you are this? So the star system associated to Cancer is Spica, and Spica is associated to the inauguration of this planet. Not this planet, I'm wet. It's public record now, then I'm wet too, whatever. So it's Washington, D.C. It's configured to that. You heard? So they should read a book, The Secret Architecture of Our Nation's Capital. You heard? Google that and read the foreword and read the entire book. You heard? As it speaks about the star systems above us create our circumstance in the real world. You heard? So I spoke to my big homie. Astrology is so deep. I spoke to my big homie the other day. It's mad people scamming using my big homie astrology thing, you heard? Because they know that people of color or people that's trying to be associated to whatever this magical shit is connected to what we do, right?
Yeah.
It's like this, yo, you the one, you the one. And then there's people that use that and create fake accounts and shit like this, and they acting like my big homie. You heard?
Yeah.
Because astrology is deep. You heard? So if you're a man and you got a woman and you live with your woman, you participating in astrology, son. Because show enough, without provocation, you heard? 7 days to 5 to 4, you heard? 7 to 3 to 5, 3 to 5 to 7 days every month in a 29 to 30, you're going to see humans operate timely and it goes backwards. You heard? So this is the lesson of Ramadan too. You can have Ramadan in the summer and Ramadan in the winter. You heard? So Ramadan, low key, is one of the methods that man has the only ability to attune himself to the cycle of the motherly cycle. You heard? Which is the moon. And Ramadan means the burning. You heard? The burning. So it means it gives men, it checks men. You heard? To be like, yo, chill, pull back. You heard? Of the physical world. Because it will consume
The primitive.
you. Yeah, it's your 1 year in the 1 month in a year that you could participate actively in even trying to understand what a cycle is. You heard? So this Ramadan, I choose not to fuck with no fuck niggas and no punks, suckers. You heard? Punks jump up to get beat down. You heard? I promise you. Look, everybody that's around me is my friend. You heard?
Yeah.
I can't even help it. Promise you.
Attention is the universal currency.
You want me to drop the mic? I can't afford it. Yo, I can't afford the mic.
You can drop it on the bag.
Drop it on the bag.
Yeah, drop it on the bag.
That's my bad.
But it's true.
Yeah.
And the more I try to cut out any attention to things I don't give a fuck about, the more the universe brings my attention to the things that grow me as a person.
You're a legend. That's right.
I wonder how long we've been going, man. This has been dope as fuck.
Yeah, this is what I do, Jay, right?
This is what you do. But I'm honored that you would sit down with me for a second time and drop so much knowledge.
Around the same time that we did the last joint when we was parts away.
In your podcast, the first time you came on, that changed my life. That changed my podcast. That was a push past anything that I'd ever had on the podcast before.
Wow.
And in this year, a lot has happened. And I attest a lot of that to you. And I appreciate you always giving your time. Like,
thank you, Lord.
Of course.
You're a legend.
You're a legend,
For
man.
real.
Man, we didn't even, I wanted you to tell the story about the first legal heroin. That shit was.
Let's go.
All right, we'll do that and then we'll finish up because that you were telling us that yesterday about doing that.
So back in the day, the reason why I did.
Oh, wait, let me get this before you start. There we go. The cover for the Reasonable Drought.
So shout out to my homie Corey Purvis.
Shout out Corey. Yeah,
shout out to Corey. And also shout out to Squad Face. You heard? So Squad Face took the cover that I first idealized with Aaron for this project, and he made this piece that you see there. But the piece is general. I created it because on 2nd Street in Lower East Side, 2nd Ave, 2nd Street,
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
right? One of my homies went to the a school over there for basketball, a very small school, collegiate school, for high school. That if you go there, you super nice in basketball. You heard?
Yeah.
So LaSalle Academy.
Okay,
You
yeah.
heard?
Mhm.
It's right over there. So shout out to my homie Ivory. You heard? Boom. So I know when I take my daughter over there, we go to Toy Tokyo. There is a drugstore called the Block Drugstore that used to sell in the, this is ill, in the late 1800s. They were selling, late 1800s going into the 1900s, they were selling heroin for bare aspirin. You heard? And that's one of the oldest drugstores, maybe in the country. You heard? In New York. Has to be one of the oldest in New York, right? And they used to be like this, selling that dope. That was the trap house, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like this. How did the world become backwards and convoluted that trap houses became some shit that happened in ghettos where there was no need to make a ghetto? So I done seen trap houses and cribs that they now have sold. It's people living in buildings that they used to sell crack, right? And they paying $2,700 to $3,200 a month to live in a crack building. You heard?
Yeah.
So what? They did the floors over. So what? They fixed the building. You living in depravity. But now, back in the day, they used to sell heroin, and they still find people on 2nd Avenue at Lower East Side like this in Nods. Nod. They got a place called the Land of Nod in the motherfucking Bible. You heard?
Yeah.
For a reason. Like this. Because you'll be sleeping like this. So everybody talking crack rap.
Wait, that's in the Bible, the land of Nod?
Nod. Google it. Nod. Nodding. Your ass is sleepy.
I never knew that.
Well, you only 20-something.
Yeah.
So you're not supposed to know everything. This is the journey.
I understand, but that's really it makes sense though.
But even if I said this to people that do know it, they would still refute me because of cultural iconography. They'll say that I don't know what I'm talking about. But I'm connecting what I'm talking about based off of what I know for opportunism to make me smarter in a world that's dumb. You did?
Yeah.
So I'm like this. Everything ain't for everybody though, Sam.
Nah.
You heard?
Nah.
Everybody is not built like that.
But that's where my ego, and I'm sorry to that's where my ego comes in when I'm young though, is because I'm like, I want everyone to like me.
Jay, ego is here to protect you. You heard? Promise you.
The land of Nod.
Yeah.
That's where Cain was exiled by God after Cain had murdered his brother Abel.
Right. Sleepy. Boy was sleepy.
That ego thing, I do want everyone to like me, but then I realize that's me being young, 24 though. That's
don't want everybody to like you.
I know I need to get over that in my own head, because if someone doesn't like me, I'm like, oh, what do I have to do to get on their good? It's like, fuck them. Mm-hmm. Like, fuck them. I know I'm on my right path. Mm-hmm. Why should I care if they don't see what I'm doing?
Right.
This was dope as fuck. I hope people realize the knowledge that you dropped in this.
This might be one of the most interesting. However, I'm so opportunistic. I'm speaking to your listening audience. And I don't never want them to catch me slipping. And you already have greatness on your podcast shows. So I'm not going against none of the greatness that you already had. You heard? Them is my folks. So this is me being family to family that I wish I had when I was a kid. You heard? I gotta live 47 years to be around people that could bring us all to a table. Yeah. So your podcast is a table. Yeah. So it's people like, I only got a small handful of people that I can actually say that I actively seen participate in culturally creating connectivity. Yeah. Yeah. Planet Asia, Chase Infinite, yeah. Cultural connectivity, yeah. Placing people in a space that we need to be in so that we can, they never try to put no barriers and no shit in front of me, yeah. I don't, if they did, I don't remember, but they never did because I got my head, I got a big stupid ass head. I remember stupid shit for nothing. I got all type of shit on. No, I still remember when motherfuckers was playing with me in 1981. I remember you was playing in 89. I remember what you tried to do in 91. You heard? Like this. Boom, like this. Look, my new set of friends have not put no barriers or no bullshit in my progression. You heard? I say they more mature than me. That's the type of shit. I'm tired of being right. That's why I play myself. I can play myself when I gotta be too instructional to hold energy. You heard?
Yeah.
A motherfucker that don't know me can benefit from me, son. You heard? Anybody that can benefit from me or knowing me is greater than me, bro.
That's what I said. I wanted to be the worst person on my team.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying by that. I don't mean it by anything other than I want to be around greatness. I don't want to be around lesser than.
That's right. I get it. That's my man. Get us out the hood, Sam. Stop playing. Look,
you were saying that at the Rome show.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, this grind, I'm young. This grind is, I know that's
you ain't young. You was young 10 years ago when you was 14.
Yeah, I'm not young. You're right.
Ass man.
You're right. I'm not young.
He's a grown man.
But I'm chopping down that tree right now, knowing that house is gonna be there. That house isn't built yet. I don't even have the blueprints to it yet.
Yes, you do. Each episode is one of the striations, the lines, the height, and the width of all that. You heard? As of most recent, all the way to your first ones, you been creating infrastructure for the house. So go to the monetizing part. You heard? Conglomerate all of them shits and have meetings about how this is this and this is that. And it got to be some exclusive content too.
Tell me that's exactly what I realized my next step was. And that's what I'm talking about, finding my worth.
Right.
It's because I didn't know what my place in this world was. So I decided to just jump both feet in the wall into the darkness.
Right.
But then you do have to start meeting and realizing, oh, I did find my lane. I did find my place. Now, how can I grow that?
Right. Right. Easy. So this goes like this with all the pics you took of all your guests and screenshots of the imprints online. That's a short, it's a fucking magazine, homie. You see this? It's one of the illest shits that ever happened to the iteration, Frank magazine. When it wasn't none of this shit that's going on right now, the Frank magazine. You heard? This before podcasting. You heard? So if you look at the content and what they was talking about, the conversations that we had right now, you're not going to get these type of conversations, you heard, inside of major publications that's published by people that stand the game. You heard? Because the artist might say, yo, I didn't like the fact that when we was in Paris, they was asking us if we want French toast. I'm just being funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They was like this, yo, I didn't like that. You heard? You're not gonna hear that in a major publication. You heard? Because it's gonna take away from the narrative. And then people who's not human. See, now we got the internet. So now humans can participate in culture. So the people push the culture, bro. Before it was Sony push the culture. Whoever bought the most space in the Virgin record store on the shelves bought the culture. So that's all you're gonna see.
But
You're not gonna see nothing that you might want to hear. Now it's different.
But that's why I respect you, and that's why I understand why you had to apologize, like why you felt, but like the Black Hitler thing, like whatever West does, he does it because he doesn't need to be with Sony buying up his shit. He'll put Hitler dressed as Jesus on the
But
cover.
if you listen, and he tells you exactly, if I'm from New York City, but I have been in New York State, you heard? And I know about New York State. You heard? I was in Tryon, and I was in Kasaki, and I was in motherfucking Dannemora. You heard? And the white folks love wrestling, and they Nazis, bro. Quasi-Nazis. Like this. I know what he was doing. He was like this. I'ma go craziest shit ever based off of the people that's officiating the environs around me. You heard? It don't have nothing to do with that. I watch movies and cry. I'm an artist, bro. I got Schindler's List in here. Bro, I went to high school with Adrian Brody.
Oh shit.
I went to high school performing arts. I teach Jewish mysticism. You heard? That gave me clarity on Sufism. You heard? And taught me how to use my brain and my mind in English. You heard?
Yeah.
You feel me?
I do. It's an understanding of the, as you said, what the environment, but what pushing the narrative is.
Right.
Is that what?
Yeah. No, it's the intensity. My point is this: the use of extremes to connect to the most extreme and the illest shit y'all ever seen. You heard? Is this a narrative of artistic, what you call it, contributions to your focal? So it's what you feel about it. You heard?
Yes. Okay. Yes, I do. It's not about what the creator put the meaning behind. It's about the intent. It's of who.
We're postmodern art. You heard?
It's the reception,
It's
not the creation.
postmodern art, bro. You heard?
Yeah.
Promise you, bro. Postmodern art. I go to rap concerts with Jews. You heard? One of my biggest contributors to my shit is my Jewish son, Noah. You heard? Word is bond. You heard?
Yeah.
So we grown ass men. You heard? What kind of person would I be if I make you pay you the little homie? You heard? For the mistakes of people that might look like you in the past. You heard? I look like I'm in the past. I fuck with time machines. I'm in the past and the future. You heard? You feel me?
Yeah.
So we're not stuck. We're not stuck. And I'm going to tell you something. This is the illest shit in the world. Go to the motherfucking, go to the Niagara Emporium, upstate New York. They have I never seen that much World War II ephemera in my life. I don't have to, black people, I don't have to explain away or say sorry for what happened to World War II. I never participated in that. You heard? So anybody asking me some shit about World War II look crazy to me because nobody is talking about slavery in raps. You heard?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Now-
they should do the Black George Washington. And who gonna get offended? You heard?
Because I had nothing. Yeah.
Nah, but yeah, my shit is in school books and everything. 450 years. Everybody got implicit bias. They got fucking what you call it? What does that say?
The
Scientific American, the science of overcoming racism. Implicit bias. You heard? I'm not here to explain why the motif of the most extreme shit that we witness humans do to each other. Why is that my responsibility? And then nobody had no responsibility to explain what happened to my folks. And then everybody we talking about had reparations except for us.
Because it's easier to get mad at the
shit that you ain't got to give a fuck about. Implicit bias.
the ignorance.
Right. Right. Which is it. Sometimes ignorance is they know, but you can actively act like you don't know. That's not bliss. That's something else. You heard? Serial killer.
Yeah, that's the time waster.
I cannot build a business I can't build no business, right? Using nothing that went against me. You heard? There have been people that built business off of blacks of shit that they should have acknowledged that may have went against them, but that's not on us. That's on you. That's your conversation. We still dealing with the CIA selling dope around my way. You heard? I can't come outside. My grandmama got to walk past the dope dealers. You heard?
Yeah.
I don't want to hear nothing about nothing that don't got nothing to do.
No, you don't like
with
an art. Yeah.
With everything. You heard? So I'm like this. Art, you can't spell art without smart. Only smart people make art. You heard? So I go like this to you. Be very careful with that. Be very careful with that. Don't do that. Don't create no conflict. You heard? Because what you fuck around, fuck your shit off. You heard? Because I'm like this. They already got me doomed. You heard? Don't fuck your shit off. Keep your shit.
I understand what you're.
Keep your shit fly. Keep your shit fly. But save this. This is a TED Talk. So when you in your 30s, you might have a TED Talk because you got behind the scene footage of a shit that's real. You heard? Keep the shit like this. Hip hop, little boom, we all that. Well, once you went there, I think just look. That's a TED Talk. You heard?
Yeah.
Implicit
and
bias.
I also know who.
Implicit bias.
Yeah.
Got the articles, bro. This shit is deep. Not racist, the danger. You heard? I'm not against you. Germans ain't against you. Jews ain't against you. It's the concept is against you. Born unequal. If you're born black, you're in trouble. The harm that data does. We don't want to add to the data of it.
Of
we
hate.
gotta keep explaining race matters. It creates an algorithm. Elon Musk already said that AI is worse than fucking nuclear bombs. For real. The AI, you heard? If the fucking computer start registering all of humans' behavior based off of separations, it starts creating separation, and then we're doomed, bro. You're all gonna die the same. So
It's the creating the problem without the solution.
talk about it.
That's what we're talking about. But
Right.
that's without, if you just create the why without the
And I gotta
movement.
go look, no bullshit, like a racehorse, right? So I'm gonna go like this. Look, you a legend. Listen, bro.
I was saying to Jay,
They was like this. She said, yo, she said, don't never say goodbye. Say I'll see you later.
that's
Promise
better.
you.
That's
For
like my
real.
friend used to say when I was growing up. Don't say you want to be a comedian. Say you
Skater.
are a comedian.
Skater girl. She was like this, yo. Don't never say goodbye. Say I'll see you later. Promise you. For real. Promise you. First woman ever said, yo, she was like, go get you a haircut and gave me the money. I swear to God.
Yo, that's
I
a
promise you, he was
fucking
like this.
G
Get you a
right
haircut.
there.
I want you to look right. You know what I mean? Because you be talking a lot. You know what I mean?
You gotta get your nails done.
Yeah. Nah, never.
I'm just,
No, I got hugged.
I'm not.
But I'm like this. She was like, get your hair done. You know what I mean? Get your Zzz. Promise you.
I'm happy that I felt dumb in this conversation at points.
Never. I don't fuck with dumb people. My astrologist told me that this is the time to create my new paradigm.
I didn't say I was a dumb person. I said I felt dumb in parts of these conversations.
Felt is only a material. Oh shit. But felt is a material. Google it. Felt.
Yeah.
You ain't feel nothing. You just expressed what you observed.
I'm a student in the
yourself.
classroom. Yeah.
Yes. As we all are.
In the
I
universe.
could learn from a lot from young people. Promise you. For real. Shout out to all this art behind me. You see what's going on?
Shout out to Squat. Shout out to Don't Watch TV. Shout out to 1,000 Words. Shout out to
Right.
Khan. Shout out to Rock Marcy. Who
Right.
took that photo?
I did.
You took that photo? That's
I
hard
did.
as fuck.
I did. Thank you. Shout out to my homie Paul. That's that poster. I got that from him. Well, of Conway, the machine. You heard? Promise you. You heard? And shout out to this artist, Dave E. Minor. You heard? He's a legend. You heard? The New York Dolls.
This
You
shit
heard?
is hard.
I promise you, you have no idea how many minors, Dave E. Minor, that we had in the cut like this. He's a legend. We could go right to the spot where his stuff is at and purchase, you heard? And his new inundation and new iteration is he's focusing on priceless and significant vinyl. You heard? He's a legend. Yeah. So I know how to take the pulse of experiences, yeah, with the world of art and its expression for retail. Yeah. So what's more important than the album cover is actually the poster for your for touring and for your brand. You heard? All artists, to close on this, all artists should seek genius-wise to use photographs associated to people who are there in real time, who take pictures of things that are very important for the cultural nuance, so people would never say that it didn't exist. You heard? Because they're going to be lying on us, son. So shout out to 1,000 Words.
For the tangible.
For taking pictures. That's my bro. You heard?
Real pictures.
I promise you.
Photograph.
Promise you. And shout out to every artist that made his own cover. You heard? And won. Because some of them you could make your own cover and you could have did more with that. But you didn't. You heard? I don't want to make my own cover. I'm tired of that shit. I want somebody smarter than me, at least 10 years younger than me. You heard? to be like this. This the cover to the play. You heard? So I could be like this. Let Jesus, Jesus, take the wheel. You feel me? I'm tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lames wore me out. Everybody think they tough in the most safest time in the universe. Do you know how many people used to get sent up daily during wars? The Punic Wars, Hannibal. Let's go back to the expulsion. You heard? Before the internet, before YouTube, Google, and sensitivities. You heard? For real. Yo, slap the shit out of me. Slap me to, I want somebody to slap me to the, what you call it? Slap me to 1 million. Slap me to 20 million. You heard? But you fuck around, be a bum, fuck around with bums. You heard? I don't fuck with bums. I don't get in physical altercations with bums. You heard? For real. And I don't care about physical altercations with people that have more resources than me. So they done took the emphasis off of, in the Americas, you heard, of global issues based off of shit that deal with hip hop. And it's right in front of people's mind, and they can't even see it. And then it's the illest shit in the world. I'm gonna leave on this. I'm gonna see how your skeeter go. Look, let's go like this. The big homie, Bruce Willis, said he stopped acting. You know why? As a grown man, it took him this long for the whole world to say G.I. Jane. You heard? He been suffering and trying to put everybody in game from his split back in the day, that when they said G.I. Jane, as soon as they said that, Bruce Willis stopped acting. So put that together for everybody that think they know everything. You heard? Bruce Willis retired from acting when G.I. Jane got mentioned at the Oscars. It's not about you, it's about us. If it ain't about us, it ain't about nothing. Now I'm gonna drop the mic on the back. Fuck out of here.